I mean, how cute is this shirt? Like, yes, friends, yes, we love that. Hey friends, Katie, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So today's video is finally going to be another ranking video. I haven't done one of these in what seems like a long time. I know I did one for 12 Days Christmas, but like in general, I haven't done a full-on ranking video since summer. It's been a long time. I love filming these videos, and I just because I love how thought-provoking they are. It's kind of like gets me thinking like, what is my favorite, honestly? And I just feel like I get a lot out of these types of videos, and I just really love it. So today I'm gonna be ranking my Drugstore eyeshadow palettes, and I'm splitting up Drugstore and high-end because I feel like comparing Drugstore and high-end is kind of unfair based on price point. I mean, also like I feel like just like I have too much. My makeup inventory video is up. I have like what, 30 something palettes, something like that. Like, so I feel like it's kind of unfair to rank those and stuff. But also, if you missed it, I did just do in 12 Days Christmas, I did ranking all the palettes I bought in 2019. That's something I will be doing again at the end of this year. I just enjoyed really doing it, and it was just so much fun. So I will be doing something like that in the future, but I'm going to be ranking all my Drugstore palettes. I included Morphe in here, which I was kind of debating putting it in high end just because their palettes are more expensive for Drugstore. So I'm using the Drugstore term more lightly. Some of these are like legit Drugstore, but these are more affordable-ish because I have Ipsy in here, Beach Cosmetics. I'm just gonna call it Drugstore for the sake of this video just because that's what we're doing. But yeah, I'm really excited to be filming this for you, bringing you more ranking series. Yeah, if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And let's just get right into it. So I have 12 Drugstore palettes, so it's a decent bit to be ranking. And just for clarification, some of these palettes might be limited edition, and also everything I can link down below I will, but some of these might not be available, but I'll list them at least down below for you. And yeah, sorry if they're limited edition, you can't get them anymore. But yeah, let's just get on to number one, which is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette. Who remembers when this launched? I forget when it was. I want to say it was like 2015 or 16, but this is what the palette looks like. It's just your typical neutral palette, and honestly I always forget this is in my collection because I just never use it, which is crazy. I actually was thinking about this, like I might put this in a pan palette in the future just because it's limited edition and I just don't like having limited edition stuff in my collection. But this is what it looks like, and I do have a pan in one of these shades. Actually, I should probably use this and like redevelop my thoughts on it because I haven't used it in the longest time. But the reason why I'm ranking this in number 12 is because like literally I never use it because it's like so neutral. I feel like my preferences with makeup have changed. If this released tomorrow, I probably wouldn't have bought it, you know what I mean? But I feel like I was very early in my makeup journey on YouTube, but also like my makeup exploring. I was earlier-ish on it, like I had been wearing makeup for a while, but I feel like this was kind of early in my days. So I don't hate this palette. Obviously, like if it's ranked low, it doesn't mean I hate it. This is just me ranking everything I own. Like if I didn't like it, I wouldn't own it and stuff, like, but I do like it because it is like a neutral-ish palette. But the reason why it's ranked down so low is because I never use it. I just find that I have other shadows that I like more than this. It is like a neutral palette and good for every day, but it's just not a thing I gravitate towards now. It's just not that for me, but I definitely could see myself panning it in the future. But yeah, that's the reason why it's ranked so low. Next is from Ipsy, and I don't know if this one's still available, but this is the Ipsy and It's Beauty Time palette. Like she never makes beauty videos anymore, like, which is so sad because she was like one of the first beauty vloggers that I really started watching. So this is her palette, and I honestly need to make more use out of this. Not sure if it's still available. I found mine in Marshall's, so it might not be available, but I really like this because it is a very neutral palette. I mean, honestly, this one I kind of feel like I got like I bought into it. I forgot how much I paid for this at Marshall's. I know it retailed for like $25 with Pixie, but I want to say I got it for maybe $10, which I feel like is a good deal if you're gonna go out and get something like this. But it is a very neutral palette and it is very pretty. You have these very, I would say this is like very fall and winter tones because a lot of warm tones, a lot of like warmer browns, more like, you know, golden colors. I feel like this is very fall. And the reason why I'm marking this down low is because I literally never use this, like hardly. And these, like, the shadows don't really super impress me. Like, I like them, I think they're nice, but they're not like anything that really challenges me with my makeup. It's not something where I'm like, whoa, I need to be using this on the daily. Like, it's not. They're fun and like they're cool, but I feel like even the mattes aren't even the best mattes I've ever tried. I'm not saying they're terrible, but like compared to other palettes I have, they're not my favorite. So yeah, that's why it's ranked at number 11. Next is the Shaaanxo palette. I know this one is not available because this is her original palette. It comes with your traditional lipsticks, which I do want to do a project pan on this like sometime in the future because I just feel like it'd be fun because you have your lippies and then you have your eyeshadows, which I love these shadows. They're super pretty and stuff and they're neutral, but like I feel like they're just very like fun to play with and stuff. The black in this palette is actually good. I'm very picky with blacks. I actually hate black eyeshadow, so there's a fun fact with that. I usually mix it with a brown or whatever, but really like this palette. Obviously I've hit pan on several of these shades and I'm ranking it down lower just because I don't really use it that much, just because it is limited edition. I think this is a very good like starter palette. If you're getting into makeup, this would be great for you. It's not really fun, but I feel like it's a very typical neutral palette and I just feel like it's, I don't know, it's fun. Actually, you might be able to get this on her website. Now I'm thinking about it, you might be able to. I will link it if you can. But it is a very like, it's a nice palette. It's just not something where I'm like, whoa, gotta go buy that. Next is the Jaclyn Hill palette. I feel like I was using this a lot when I first got it, but as of like recently, I haven't used it in a long time. First of all, this palette is ridiculously big and I just don't know if I'm like really into that anymore. Like just, it's huge and definitely one I could see myself attempting to pan because there's like what, 40 shades in here, 35 shades in here. So I definitely don't know if that's possible, but I do think this is a fun palette. Like you have a ton of neutrals, you have your pinks, you have blues that I never play with, and then you have like a purple. And I do think this is a very basic palette, and the reason why I'm ranking it at 9 though, which I don't feel like is bad, is just because like it's not easy to travel with. I feel like I don't use it a lot because it is so bulky and it's just like not my favorite when it comes to makeup. Like I prefer like so many other palettes, like just ones that are easier to travel with, easier to just use in general. It also doesn't have a mirror, and I think this palette is like one that a lot of people have in their collection, but it's one that I don't necessarily know. Like I'm happy I have it and I'm still like gonna use it, but it's not one where I'm like, whoa, I need this in my life. You know, like the shades are beautiful, the pigmentation is beautiful, it's a great palette, but it's just not one where I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So now we're up to number 8, and the Shaaanxo Remix is my next one on my list. Now, I love this palette, but I don't use it all that much. You have the same, it's like stuck on one side, you have the same colors as the other palette in this one. So you have that bluish color, you have the black, you have all the same shades and stuff, which is the reason why I would want to pan the other one, is because it's all the same palette, just minus the lipsticks. And then you have these newer shades which are more fun, but also some neutrals and stuff, and this is what they look like. You have a pink, you have a purple, you have peachy shades, which I think this is very fun that she did this. I do really like this palette because the shades blend very well. They are beautiful, they are different, but they also have your same neutral tones. But it's not something where I would really like use all the time, you know what I mean? Like it's not something where I'm like, oh my god, this is ride or die. No. Next is again another Pixie palette. I love this, and we're down to number 7, which I feel like is pretty good. And this is the Pixie and Heart palette. First of all, the packaging is pretty. That's a weird way to say it, but whatever. I always forget that you open it on the side. Now I love this palette. It is super pretty, and this is definitely a very fall palette because you got your berries in there. You have also your like golden type shades, but I really like this, and I love Heart. She's like one of the few beauty vlogger, lifestyle vloggers from like the early days that I still watch. I really like this because you do have like those berry tones like I said, and it is very like just bright, not even bright, but like it's very warm for fall and stuff, and I think it's very pretty, and I've worn it several times. It's not something I gravitate towards on the daily. You definitely can create a full look with this, I'm not saying that, but I just feel like I gravitate towards other things in the daily, and I'm using eyeshadow a lot, but this is just not one I use a lot, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I like this. I think the formula is very beautiful. All the formulas in all these palettes are ones that I actually like, but when it comes to like this, these just aren't ones where I'm like, whoa, gotta have that, you know? So next few are all from ColourPop, so I won't be saying ColourPop, or at least intentionally won't be saying ColourPop. The first one is the Zodiac palette, and this is the one that's in collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and I love this palette. I really do. I love all these shades and everything, and this is number 6, so I feel like that's really good to be ranked up that way. I really like this. The pigmentation is absolutely gorgeous. You can really I really feel like you can typically make a full look with this palette for the most part. I mean, you don't have like a white color, which for me, that's kind of like a must. So I do a lot of times dip into other palettes, but honestly, I am that person that dips from palette to palette. That's kind of my preference. It's something I always do, is dip from palette to palette. But I love this palette, and I think it's very beautiful. What I like about it is like colorful-ish, because you can like create just so many different looks, and you can create so many different looks with this, which I like. And it does still have those neutrals, which is always a must, and I really like it. But I guess the only complaint I have is that it doesn't have like a white to set with or like a white cream, but those are easily findable in other palettes, so that's fine. But I really like it, and it is pretty, and I'm happy to be ranking it at number 6 because I feel like that's still really good, and it's just super fun, and it's definitely one of my most fun palettes that I have. Then we have the Dream Street, which is also a Kathleen Lights collab, and I like this one a little bit more because you have a ton of neutrals. You also have a few pops, which is fun, which I like about this, because I can honestly take this palette, create a full look, and it's just a nice cohesive look. Like I can really do a lot with this palette and go fun with this. I can also go very neutral with this. I can play with this easily, which I really like, and these shadows just blend very, very well. They're very buttery and creamy, and they're just the best, so love that. Then we have the Honey palette from ColourPop, which I really like. This is one of their 9-pan palettes, and I love these palettes. They're just absolutely gorgeous. This is what this one looks like. I really like this because it is a yellow palette, and it is more on the fun side, and you can go a little crazy with this palette, which is fun, I guess. And I really like this because it's a nice golden palette, and gold is probably my favorite color to use on my eyelids. I really like it, and I like this because it's just like you have like just a nice bright fun yellow palette. You can definitely go very yellow with this, but you also can go more neutral with this, which I like. Favorite shades in this palette would probably have to be that one, and that one. Those are probably my top 3 with this, and I just think it's super fun, and if you want to go yellow, you can go yellow. So next is my It's My Pleasure palette, and I know I did rank this like lower in my other video that I did. I actually ranked it lower than this palette, which is kind of funny how I ranked it higher than that one in this video. I guess like it depends like what we're talking about is my reasoning, I guess. I don't know. But this is my It's My Pleasure palette, and I really do enjoy this palette, and I'm ranking it at number 3, which I feel like is pretty good. I really do like this palette, and I rethought it, but I do love like a lot of these shades. I think they're very beautiful. It's just the purple palette. My favorite shade would definitely have to be this one, which I believe is called Mr. Sandman. I really like it. It's just so beautiful, and I also like the middle shade, which is Earthshine, and I just think it's a very pretty palette. It's one of the 9-pan palettes again, and it's just very easy for this one for the most part to create a nice purple look. I think it definitely goes there. It's definitely one of my favorite like purple palettes. I feel like purples are like one of the hardest shades to formulate, so this is very beautiful, and I really do like it. And it's just the purples are just formulated so buttery, so well, and the mattes are pretty good as well, and it's just a nice purple palette. If you're looking for purples, this is where to go. I actually like this one better than their other purple palette that they've launched. I didn't buy it, which is why I'm saying this is more my favorite, just because the shades look identical, and it's just no different than this one, so love that. Next is the So Jaded palette. This one I didn't mention in my other video because I think I recently got it when I film that video? I forget. And so I did mention it in that video, but this is the So Jaded with Kathleen lights, and I do really like this. I've been experimenting with it. I kind of used it on my eyes today. I used this shade Sunstone with a shade mixed in from another palette I own. I really do like it. I feel like this palette really pushes me to try different looks. I've tried the blue with mix of another shade, and then I've also used that like greenish golden color. For New Year's I used that. I thought it was very pretty, and I feel like this palette has a lot of neutrals but also has those shades that really push you. And comparing this to the Jacqueline palette, I actually think this one is the perfect size when you're going for a bigger palette. I really like the size of this one just because I don't find it's like too big. I feel like you can fit this in a bigger style makeup bag, which is what I use when I travel, and I just find that it's beautiful and I just really like it. I will say I don't really care for the glitters. I just find that they are hard to make work. I did think I used the gold glitter on Christmas Eve, and I just wasn't thoroughly impressed with it. I feel like I just had to use a lot of glitter glue to get it to work. I just feel like maybe I need to see how ColourPop recommends you apply it or whatever, but just for the most part I find that I don't love the glitters, but all the other shades I've been really impressed with. This one just really pushes me to try colorful looks, and these just blend very beautifully. They have great pigmentation. I typically do use a setting spray because I like a foiled effect. For the most part, this is beautiful. Okay, so number one would have to be my Carli Bybel and BH Cosmetics palette. I'm so sad you can't get this anymore. Honestly, I want to get another one, and I hardly use this one anymore just because it is limited edition. Also because like I don't want to use it up because it is gorgeous. The mattes in this palette blend so beautifully. They're gorgeous, I will say that for a fact. And then also the shimmers are very pigmented. Like honestly, you don't need much of this. Then I also like how it does have a bunch of highlights. I really like these two. They are my favorite and stuff, and these ones I don't really touch very much. I could never honestly see myself panning this palette just because I love it that much. Like I want to take this to my grave with me, honestly. That might sound really insane. We're very far out for that, but I could honestly see myself having this in my collection for a very long time. I'd probably be expired by then, but honestly I love this so much I don't even care, and I store my makeup well, so I'm not even concerned one bit. But I do enjoy this. I think it's very beautiful. The shades are like very fun and beautiful, and I need to use this more, but I really am obsessed with it, and I really do love this palette, and it's my favorite just because it's very blendable. There's a lot of shades to choose from. They're very neutral, but you can also get a fun look of it. It's just the best, and the pigmentation's the best, the formula is the best, blendability is the best. It's just the best. And yeah, so these are all the palettes I'm ranking for today. That was my number one. Let me know what palette, how you'd rank your drugstore palettes or your palettes in general down below. I'd love to hear about it. My high-end one will be coming soon. I still have to film it, but I definitely will be filming that very soon for you. I'm excited to share that one as well. I also have like interesting type ranking video coming soon that I have thought out. Yeah, we love that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.